Welcome into the CHGO White Sox podcast, coming to you from Studio A, not live. Happy Black Friday, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, folks. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, the full CHGO White Sox crew. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. And for diehards out there, Vinnie's got obviously some free pieces covering the latest news, especially the Mike Soroka trade up at ALLCITY. Michael Soroka. I am thankful that you are here to correct me.
Yeah.
The free ones are up at allchgo.com.
This is Alexander Colomé all over again.
And Jackson Frazier.
Jackson Frazier?
We didn't have to deal with that. Clint Frazier.
Oh, Clint. See, I didn't even recognize. But diehards, there's a new mailbag that you posted to allchgo.com. If you aren't a diehard, you can join today. You get that nice little box there. We'll tell you a little bit more about it later on in the show. That's Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. We got one bit we're doing today. Whole show on a numbers draft. I didn't really know how to explain this in the description. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. We're going to have 5 rounds. 15 numbers will be selected.
Jersey numbers.
Yes. Vinny will go first. Herb will go second. I will go third. And as you try to clarify, Tim Anderson, for example, wore 2 numbers because Jimmy Rollins was wearing 7. So if you are selecting the number 12, you are only getting Tim Anderson's production for the number 12.
The idea is to come up with the best quote-unquote team, but you get all the guys who had that number in White Sox history.
Yes.
So we're only probably going to mention a couple of notable ones per number, but, you know, the idea being that you're not necessarily just drafting the one best player, you're drafting the best collection of players with each number that you take.
And right, I mean, the thing, too, is, like, if, you know, Carlton Fisk is great. He's a Hall of Famer, but only one person's wore 72. So you got to kind of balance, you know.
But very good.
Right. So if you are taking a guy, you know, 88, only Luis Robert Jr.'s wore that, you know, you got to kind of weigh if you're going to, you know, want somebody with, or a number that has a little bit more cachet. So, again, Vinny's going first, Herb's going second, I'm going third. Any more questions?
No.
Okay. Greg Braggs is producing us. Shout out to Greg Braggs. I know you're ready for Thanksgiving.
Well, Thanksgiving happened already.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm full.
We
What are
are
you thankful
in the
for,
future.
We are in the future.
Yeah.
Or when people see this, it'll be the present.
That's true.
Yeah.
And there's an odd vibe here. There's like people, like the Cubs are doing their show right now, but it's like dead quiet in here. I feel very.
Yeah, it's usually some chatter going on
Gloomy
during our shows.
outside.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was more gloomy.
I'm in an oddly bad mood. I think that's part of it.
No.
It's
We're
weird.
going to try to cheer Braggs
Yeah, that's
up.
weird that you're in a bad mood. I'm not saying that weird, like sarcastically. It is weird. You're usually in a good mood,
I
even
know.
if
I'm
the
stressed.
Bears are terrible.
For whatever reason, I'm stressed out today.
All right. Well, let's entertain Braggs and get him
Sean
into a better
normally
mood.
can do that.
Oh, good.
He makes me laugh.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that.
You guys usually fight.
You're saying,
No,
on
you
his
guys usually
opinion?
fight.
Yeah,
that's
but-
what I'm saying.
right.
That's weird. You guys
Exactly.
usually fight. You're like brothers.
He gets me going.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into this. Vinny, you got the first pick. Do you want to give a little bit of your strategy, what you're going for?
Well,
your
not
thought
necessarily.
process?
I mean, I'll talk about it, I guess, when I make my picks, but I thought that there was a very clear best number, and so I'm very happy that I got the number 1 pick because I would have been less happy even if I had number 2. I'm going with number 14 because I get both Paul Konerko and Bill Melton.
Yep.
And so I have home runs for days. There are some numbers that are going to be taken where like 100 guys wore that number. And so, sure, if you're a big fan of whatever random dude wore number 14 in 1980, whatever, then we get him too. But I guess
Franco.
The point being that I'm taking 14 because of Konerko and Bill Melton, that combination of power hitters. You can't beat it, I don't think, with one number throughout team history.
Even Ted Lyons put on 14 for a bit in 1931.
There were also some guys like, players that you've heard of from the past who wore like 12 different numbers with the White Sox alone.
Yes.
And so you're really carving up their career and trying to figure that out. But to lead off, I'm going power hitting. I get Konerko. I get Melton. I'm very happy with number 14.
Now, I did offer up my services, Vinny, for these numbers.
As a consultant?
And saying it in the Gene Honda voice.
If you'd like, you go right ahead.
But
when we get down...
so Gene Honda probably wasn't around when Bill Melton was playing.
I mean, he was alive, but not as the
right. I'm
White
saying
Sox.
as far as calling. So
Yeah.
I know how it sounds when Gene Honda calls Paul Konerko.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, what would it sound like if Gene Honda was announcing Bill Melton stepping to the plate?
Number 14, Paul Konerko.
That's pretty goddamn good.
That's pretty
That was good, Brax.
I
That was
wasn't
good.
expecting that, Brax. That's good.
You're gonna be
a Cubs
busting
fan,
that out.
too.
You're gonna have to be busting that out a lot the rest of the show.
I know.
And
It's
14,
a lot to
and I
live
was
up
looking
to.
at that number. Julio Franco, his 1 year as a White Sox, phenomenal. Like, he was 35, and I think he played until he was, like, in his 50s. But he had an excellent year as a number 14. But, yeah, that was my number one pick. I would have picked number 14, and for White Sox is established and really great.
At least for your 14, too, of Ted Lyons, the Hall of Famer. That's one of his worst seasons. So.
Oh, wow.
One season there.
Unbelievable. I'm already losing, but we're already going backwards. But I would say this. Paul Konerko, obviously a phenomenal career with the White Sox, deserves to have his number up on the board by himself. But Bill Melton, one of the better power hitters in team history, would not have all been out of place had they decided to pull what the Cubs did for number 31, where they retired Fergie Jenkins and Greg Maddux on the same day. If they would have done Konerko and Melton at the same time, too, definitely would have been deserved, I think.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Hey, I mean, there's still time.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Melton, can still get an invite and still get the number retired. I feel like the team should do that more often. I don't know if it's always as powerful as Maddux and Fergie Jenkins. But
Well, there are other teams that have those kind of rings of honor or whatever that aren't necessarily the same as having numbers retired. So it's like the elite of the elite have their like numbers retired, but we also want to put everybody else's name up in the stadium kind of thing. I like a team sticking to just one of those two things, I think. So, like, to have the retired numbers only, I think, is kind of cool.
Are you a fan of retired numbers?
I mean, right now we're in 2023. Fine. 2021, 21-23, when all these numbers are retired, who the hell is going to have any numbers? We have to go to 3 digits after that. Like, the Bears have stopped retiring numbers completely. Like, there's people who deserve their numbers to be retired, and the Bears like, sorry, man, we got all these damn numbers retired. We can't go. So I would like the Ring of Honor. And then, yes, if you are, like, a Hall of Famer, you get your number retired. But, like, for people like before he made the Hall of Fame, Harold Baines should just had his number up there. When he made the Hall of Fame, then his number's retired kind of thing. You know what I mean?
But there are also franchises who have players who are legendary to those franchises that aren't necessarily going to be picked by a national voting committee to be in the Hall of Fame. I think definitely Harold Baines would have been a great example had he not ended up in the Hall of Fame as a guy who deserved to have his number on the board for White Sox fans, even if Cooperstown wasn't going to acknowledge that achievement.
Research too, like there's not a lot of people in those single digits. Like there was like a couple people, like 6 or something that wasn't retired. I looked at the numbers, like no one's worn this jersey in a long ass time, and it's not retired. They just take it out of circulation. It's weird. But yeah, I would like more like a Ring of Honor. This person was really good, but we keep that number in circulation. But for the Cubs, going back to that, the fact that Sammy Sosa's number is not retired and his name is not in Ring of Honor, it's absolutely dumb. He built that stadium. He built that stadium. He built how the Cubs are currently. Like, if you look at where he started in 92, 93, and from on, the attendance spiked because of Sammy Sosa and what he did with those teams.
I was a young child growing up in the 90s, and I was a casual fan, and it was very easy to see a blue and red team, because those were my favorite colors, and a dude wearing 21, which is my birth date, and just, I mean, what, he's hitting 60 homers? Like, if Shohei Ohtani goes to the Cubs, there's going to be a ton of, like, children that are just growing up watching baseball that are going to flock to the Cubs because 17's over there. You guys know the first ever retired number?
Ever?
For the White Sox or just
Ever.
in baseball
Ever.
history?
First number retired by a team.
I would say Babe Ruth.
That'd be a good guess.
Or is it his teammate, Lou
Oh,
Gehrig?
Lou Gehrig, number
Gehrig,
4.
Because
Yeah.
he passed away.
Yeah.
July 4, 1939 to be Lou Gehrig Day, on which they retired number 4. And that's the one thing, too. Like, I think maybe retired numbers should be only for the special of the special. Like, Lou Gehrig, obviously, like, I mean, just that speech, everything, you know, I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time. Clemente, for sure. Maybe Hank Aaron.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie, yeah.
But so
well,
you're
yeah, for
basically
sure.
talking about it should just be done league-wide.
I don't know about league-wide, but, like, I don't know, all the Yankees. Yeah, like, does Casey Stengel need his jersey
He's a
retired?
manager.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
Does
thing,
Billy
too.
Martin need his number retired?
But it's all relative to each franchise, right? Like you can't go and tell the Rockies or the Diamondbacks you didn't have somebody as good as Lou Gehrig, so you can't retire any numbers. You know what I mean? Like
I guess I'm saying I favor more Ring of Honor. And, like, if
Gotcha.
you are going to retire numbers, I think it should be, you know, a certain level of special.
Yes.
But I don't know.
well, we're going to be talking about a lot of retired numbers through the next couple rounds. I would have to imagine.
Before we get to the next one, Herb, we looked at this up earlier. Numbers weren't invented until 1931, league-wide. The first radio broadcast was 1921, and in 1960, Cleveland responded to the complaints of scorekeepers, vendors, and fans who couldn't tell who was on the field, became the first team to experiment with uniform numbers, putting each player's lineup position on their sleeve. The experiment only lasted a few weeks. The Cardinals tried something similar 7 years later, only for the numbers to be scrapped due to what manager Branch Rickey called continuing embarrassment to the players.
Wow.
Remained taboo until 1921, where the Yankees were announced that were putting uniforms or numbers on the uniforms because they had Ruth and Gehrig.
3 and 4, yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, this is great, you know?
But that was batting
batting
order,
order.
right? That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
they're 3 and 4, right? Yeah. Very cool.
Imagine if Babe Ruth was a leadoff hitter. All right, anyway.
number 1.
Not going to be. That's true. All right, Herb, take us away.
And also with your 14, I was looking at that. Ken Boyer, who's a Hall of Famer, wore 14. Ted Lyons, as he said, with 1 year. And Larry Doby wore 14 for the White Sox. I'm going to go, what's my name? Actonwall 23. But, of course, they only had 2 really special players. Robin Ventura, Jermaine Dye. Jermaine Dye won a Silver Slugger, won the World Series MVP. Robin Ventura, in his years where he was a White Sox, was one of the best third basemen in the game, won 5 Gold Gloves, and is my favorite player growing up. And also in 23 is Gary Peters, who also had a good career with the White Sox. So number 23 will be my choice for the first pick on my numbers draft.
I think you missed somebody. There's a big 23 out there.
Stop it. Mark Tian, of course.
Mark,
Yeah, Mark T.
You're talking about Arkansas's finest.
Arkansas's finest. All right, so we got number 23 off the board, and Herb took 14 off the board. Do you want to do the Gene Honda impersonation?
No, can you do the Gene Honda Robin Ventura, Greg Braggs?
Yeah, Greg, or maybe...
Or are you going to save it for a special number? I'll pick that number eventually, Greg, if it's not picked in by these guys.
Been a while since I remember the Gene Honda call for Robin Ventura, who was a great.
well, usually
grower.
it's the number and then his name.
Wow. There
Right.
it is. The brother
yeah,
fighting
but just,
right there.
But see, you're selling short the art of one Gene Honda. Like there's different ways he enunciates and
The cadence.
the cadence and when he peaks for certain players or draws out a certain name. I'm sure we'll get to some here later. So I'll try to give it my best shot. Travel back into memory lane. Number 23, Robin. No, that wasn't right. See,
It's okay.
Number 23, Robin Ventura.
There it is. There it is.
I think Greg
You
Braggs
got
is
it.
replacing Gene Honda.
See, now
for years.
the first one, you see how when I lifted on Robin, that wasn't right.
You got it perfectly.
Thank you.
That was Ray Clay, is what you were doing there.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving on, third pick.
You get 2 in a row.
I do get 2 in a row. This is snake draft. I am going to, and I said I was going to go off vibes, but he's the best player in franchise history, in my opinion.
Oh, you're picking that guy?
Number 35, Frank
Oh,
Thomas.
that's the wrong
It's
guy.
not your opinion then. He is the best player in franchise history.
Well, I mean, at least by WAR pushes up my class.
By war, there's a better player.
Luke
but
Appling, 77.5.
Old aches and pains?
Old aches and pains.
Old aches and pains is better than Frank Thomas. I don't know. I think
He played the field.
I'll take Frank Thomas.
I mean, too.
most offensive WAR at least.
Herb's just trying to argue, and he has no conviction.
No.
He's just like, no, I'll argue it, but I also don't
Old
care.
aches and pains. Hey, old aches and pains didn't make our top 25 Chicago athletes of all time. Number 35, Frank Thomas did. Sorry.
That's true.
It's Greg time to say that.
Number 35, Frank Thomas. That was, I mean,
You held on to Thomas too much, but the Frank was perfect.
I just appreciate the effort.
thank you.
It's great.
You're delivering the energy.
This is gonna be the short, I think, from this that we clip from this. Is just gonna be super cut of Braggs doing the announcing.
Moving on to my next pick. This is tough. I'm gonna go. No, I could say that one. Shoot, I will go with. And I'll just take another retired one because these are going to be off by the time. I'll take 11. I'll take Louis Aparicio.
That's a good one.
Little Louis.
That's a good one.
And hey, I mean, also I think really no one else stands out truly. Bruce Kim, Don Kessinger, anyone? Not really. Jerry Adair.
Don Kessinger's one of those guys that wore like 10 different numbers for the Sox. I was scrolling through them all, and he just kept popping up.
30 and 11 for him, for Don Kessinger. But yeah, I'll take number 11.
See, that's one of those that people just kept on getting that number reissued because little Louis like stopped playing in the 70s, and then that number was still in circulation. And they're like, he was pretty damn good. Let's stop issuing this number out.
When did they retire that?
Way after he stopped playing.
Because there was Vizquel who wore it in 2010 to 2011.
Yeah.
But there was Rudy Law was the last one to
That
wear it.
was was done on purpose.
Yeah, okay.
It was
Venezuelan?
brought back for the Venezuelan shortstop connection there, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I know Vizquel is obviously a lot different, but in time it made sense. All right.
I'm going to go with one where it's kind of off the board. Number 15. You have 3 All-Star seasons by, I forgot his name already. Dick Allen, Sandy Alomar Jr., who was on the team 8 million times, Gordon Beckham, Tadahito Oguchi, and for 1 year, his rookie season. Greg, can you help me out with number 35? But his number is 15. Frank Thomas was number 15 in his rookie year, where he had his first hit was a triple at Milwaukee's County Stadium, but he was wearing 15 at that time. So I'm going to go with number 15. I would give it more to Dick Allen than Tadahito Oguchi, Greg, because Dick Allen should be a Hall of Famer, and his 3 years with the White Sox were just phenomenal. I don't know why he was traded off this team, and I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame right now before he died.
I always like the weird guys, like the washed up guys, and even George Foster, former MVP, 15.
Yeah, it's an underrated number with one of the best players in White Sox history, even though he only played 3 years here. His offensive skills those 3 years was just on. I think he led the league in home runs twice in those 3 years. He was a walking machine. He was on base like 40% of the time. Just a great, great baseball player and handled the hot corner pretty well.
It's a good one. I am going to go ahead.
Number 15, Tadahito Oguchi.
Oh, God.
So when I went ahead and made my list here, I had all the the guys who have their numbers retired and are the only notable ones to have worn that number all at the top. So if I wanted to just go by what I had ranked, that's what I'd do. But I'm not going to do that because it's more fun not to. Mm-hmm. So my next pick, I'm going with number 30, worn by Maglio Ordonez, as well as Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Tim Raines.
I thought you were going to say Nick Swisher.
No, not a Hall of Famer. He was Dirty 30, but I believe the reason that you would go with number 30 here would be for Mags and Tim Raines, who is a Hall of Fame.
That's an insanely sick number. Also, Jake Berger, Barron's hitting coach, Nicky Delmonico.
There you go.
Mark Kotze, Alejandro De Aza, and even David Robertson.
How about it?
Very
How about
cool.
it?
The Pope Don Paul.
So there's a lot of 30s. Speaking of the Pope Don Paul, that's where I'm going with my next pick. For my next pick,
That's a really good number.
I'm going with number 22.
Oh, God, so good number.
And listen to this. You ready for this? I'm going to go backwards, and I'm going to count down to the guy that Braggs is going to do the announcing for. So the last guy I say Braggs, that's who you're going to do the announcing for.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to start with the Pope Don Paul. How about Ivan Calderon?
Awesome.
How about Darren Jackson?
Yep.
How about Jose Valentin? How about Richie Zisk?
Yep.
How about Ed Farmer?
Yes.
And, of course,
Yep.
Scotty Potts.
Greg?
Number 22, Scott Podsednik.
It's right on, man.
It's like he's playing it off the computer. That was good.
And can you give Vinny's first pick in this round, too? Because you wrote it
Mags.
down.
Mags.
With the,
Number 30, Maglio Ordonez.
This is good.
It is not going to.
It's the winning.
It's
It's not like the reason we did this draft was just to hear Braggs.
I had no idea he could do a Gene Honda.
he's a Cub fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you just grew up with Gene
But
Honda?
I went to a lot of White Sox games growing up, and a lot of my childhood was going to White Sox games. And
You've been watching
Frank
the Maui?
Thomas, Bo Jackson. He's been at, he's Maui.
He's
doing
the voice
Maui
of the Final
Invitational,
Four.
Big Ten basketball,
Yeah.
Big Ten championships.
Greg would buy football.
Gene,
Final Four?
Gene Honda's a
Greg
legend.
wouldn't know about the Final Four.
Wow. He's wearing a Perdon't shirt
now
right there.
Now I'm leaving. You will get nothing else. No more laughter from me.
I'm going to go off the board of like these popular numbers, and Vinny's taking all the good ones. Sean's got all the good ones too. I'm going number 19. We got Floyd Bannister. That's Brian's dad.
Thank you.
Greg Luzinski. Happy belated birthday to Greg Luzinski. It was on Wednesday. Congratulations, Greg Luzinski. I think he's 73 now. Bruce Howard, George Dickey. But, of course, it's retired for Billy Pierce. So I'm going to go with number 19, Billy Pierce. He is not around when Gene Honda was announcing.
Correct.
And a pitcher.
Yes.
You don't really, he does it every game, but people don't, it doesn't stick in your memory like all the hitters, right? Because obviously you're hearing that every time they come to the plate, but you only get it once with the starting pitcher or when the reliever comes in. So we don't have those fond, even if someone like Burley or Garland or John Danks, who were around for a long time, we don't know that, but of course we can all do Tadahito
It's the repetitiveness of the four at-bats.
And since Vinny established that the number that this person wore, is only for the year that he wore it, I was going to go with Red Faber, which is also a 19, but the year he wore it was the second to last year, and he was shit. And so he changed it back to his old number, which I think was 33. He was still trash, and he just retired. And before that, I don't think there was numbers. So he's like, all right. They're like, hey, Red, you got to pick a number now. He's like 33. And then he's like, I don't like 33. And then 32. And then he sucked. And then 33 again. Then he sucked again. He's like, I'm done playing baseball. These newfangled numbers. When I played, you just put the uniform on. The big, huge coat on. That's how Red
made of wool.
That's how he sounded.
You're good friends.
Oh, me and Red go back.
Braggs does a dead-on Gene Honda impression. Herb does a dead-on Red Faber impression.
Next up, my next pick, final run of round 3. It's a legendary number. Leury Garcia wore it from 2013 to 2022. Dwayne Wise wore it from 2012 to 2013. D'Angelo Jimenez.
I didn't even have this in my top 37.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, I did. Never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say. Joey Cora in 1992
Not
to
for any of these
1994.
people, though.
The reason to take it. Because it's good vibes. Obviously, you get Leury, you get Zach Remillard, you get Trace Thompson in there. But mainly Wilbur Wood from 1967 to 1978. He'll do most of the carrying for WAR. But, hey, I also love getting Leury in there. So I'll take number 28. To recap so far, Vinny has 14, 30, and 22.
Pretty solid.
Herb has 23, 15, and 19. I have 35, 11, and 28. I'm not sure if this one's going to be back for my final pick.
You got to start picking ones that multiple people wore.
Give me number 1.
For Adam Eaton?
For Adam Eaton, Elvis Andrus, Nick Madrigal, Kosuke Fukudomi, Juan Pierre, Scotty Potts for a little bit, Willie Harris, Kenny Lofton, Lance Johnson, and the best player to wear it, Jim Landis.
Sean, that's a pretty bad pick.
Mm-hmm. I don't care.
Can we get at least Lance Johnson?
Was he around?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
One dog.
But
One dog
again,
was
this was like memory lane. So,
feel free to go off the board and give us Juan Pierre if you'd like.
The one dog. No, the one dog's my childhood. So, number 1, Lance Johnson.
There it is.
Pretty spot on.
Ooh, even a 1966 Rookie of the Year, Tommy Agee.
Not 100% confident that that's the influence.
No, that
Sounded good.
I mean,
I like my number one pick. A 5-time Gold Glover, Jim Landis. Let's go.
Oh, and Nick Madrigal.
And Nick Madrigal and Kosuke Fukudomi
Wow.
and Juan Pierre. Those are just guys. That's just guy after guy after guy.
Herb, what do you got?
I'm going to go, again, off the board, to a number of my childhood. As Bragg says, I used to go to White Sox games as a child and hear this number often because he was the best pitcher on the White Sox during my early White Sox listening or watching, and go with number 29.
Jeff Samardzija?
Jeff Samardzija, Blackjack McDowell. We got Keith Folk for 3 years. I mean, he was pretty dominant during the young times. So
Whole lot of Greg Walker at number 29, too, I believe. Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry, Greg Walker was a good hitter, not a good batting coach. So, yeah, number 29. You got anything for Blackjack McDowell?
Nope.
That one's tough. Yeah, because you only said it, like, as Vinny says, you only said it at the beginning of the thing, like, warming up the bullpen, Jack McDowell.
Right.
Not
I
bad
think
effort.
Burley's the only one, that
Number 56, Mark
Burley. Yeah, it was more like
Yeah, you could say it because
Burley.
we're probably not going to pick that one. No, we're not going to pick that one.
Also, number 1, Jerry Reinsdorf's son, Ken Williams.
He wore
He wore a
several
lot of
numbers as
numbers.
well.
Yes.
116.
He's
back
the last
to
one to wear 6, right?
7.
Yeah.
No, he didn't wear 6.
I thought he did.
Who
Last
was
one
he
to
the
wear
last one to
16?
wear that then got retired?
16.
I thought I saw that he's the last person to
Yeah.
wear a number that was then retired. Oh, Ted Lyons.
Yeah, 16.
Okay.
So Ken, and then Julio Cruz wore that number 2.
All right. So these are my final 2 picks. And I know which one I'm going to do, and this is strictly, like you said, Sean, for vibes. I'm going with number 8,
Okay.
which gets me Bo Jackson and Albert Bell. If
pretty
this
good.
is an actual team that I'm assembling, it's going to hit the most home runs in the history of baseball.
And Carl Everett, who doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
That's true. I didn't do it for Carl Everett, but I did it for Bo Jackson and Albert Bell. Albert Bell still obviously holds the franchise single-season home run record, and Bo Jackson is like the coolest baseball player ever.
You're being real picky and choosy. I mean, even Daryl Boston's on this list. If we're giving Greg Walker a shout out,
I didn't do it for them, though, Sean.
Alex Cintron.
I didn't do it for Alex Cintron.
I would have done it for Alex Cintron.
And then I've got to make one final choice here. There's a lot of different directions I could go here. But I think I'm going to go with number 31. Ooh. Because it gets me not only our guy Liam Hendricks, who is no longer a White Sox, but the Hoyts. Hoyt Wilhelm and Lamar Hoyt. I needed some pitching on this team, and now I've got it in a pair of Hoyts.
And that's the only people you've done it for?
And Liam Hendricks.
Not Steve Cishek?
Not Steve Cishek.
Alex Avila?
Avila.
Ben Davis? Jose Canseco?
There you go.
Come on. Even Rad, Scott Radinsky.
So there you go. That's my team.
All right,
That's
so you
Ian's brother-in-law, I believe.
Radinsky?
Yeah.
Vinny's team is number 14, number 30, number 22, number 8, and number 31.
I'm going to go with number 5, Frank Thomas. No. Marcus Semien for his brief time as a White Sox, where he wasn't as good as he is now. Yolmer Sanchez won a Gold Glove, then got immediately
And was promptly non-tendered.
cuts.
Yep.
Yes. Then, of course, number 5, when you think of the White Sox, it's, as my childhood, Ray Durham. And then if you are a World Series person, Juan Uribe.
Oh, this is the one we've been waiting for from Braggs.
So can you give me a Ray Durham number 5 Gene Honda impersonation?
That's not the one we've been waiting for.
Juan Uribe.
No.
Are you kidding?
Number 5
That's
is
the Gene Honda name.
Give me both of them.
I'll double dip for you.
Thank you.
Number 5, Ray Durham. I don't think that was right.
Rock and Ray, that's first.
All right, and then who's our other one?
Juan Uribe.
Juan Uribe. Okay. Number 5, Juan Uribe.
I feel like he's in the room.
I think it was an ooh. It was more of
I
an ooh.
felt more
Like-
confident that that's how the Uribe went,
Like
but
John Miller
not
would
as
say,
much
Uribe.
Yeah.
with
He-
Ray
yeah.
Durham.
Now betting for the White Sox. Number 5, Juan Uribe.
Yeah. Uribe?
Yeah.
Did I butcher it by saying Uribe?
You said his name right.
Yeah, you pronounce his name right, but Gene always used to say Uribe.
Okay. See,
feel
but
like-
I gotta have that. I gotta make, you know what I mean?
You got to gene it up.
Right.
It's got to be the most
Gotta-
spot-on impersonation.
Got to smoke like 3 or 4 more packs. You got to get there if you're going to be Gene
I'm
Honda.
not sure if that's how he got to have the vote.
I mean, sorry, one.
vocal.
1 pack of smokes.
All right, Sean. Last
am I?
pick.
Oh, yeah, you just took number 5.
Yeah.
Okay, last pick. I'm so happy that 3 wasn't picked. It's tough because 88. How long will Robert be a White Sox? Right? Am I trying to?
It's to what he's done
future?
to this point.
Pretty good. I love 56 for many reasons, but obviously Burley's my guy. I don't know. I don't want to be berated.
Hey man, if that's your pick, that's your pick.
Maybe these are some horrendous vibes here. I'm gonna go we didn't take a single ad break. I'm gonna take number 33. You're gonna get Lance Lynn. You're gonna get James Shields. You're gonna get Zach Duke, Dylan Axelrod.
These are not the people that you
Edwin
want
Jackson,
for number 33.
Javier Vasquez.
You're not saying the wrong person.
Aaron Rowan.
Thank you.
I was getting there. Mike Sorotka.
Sorotka.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. And even Marvin Freeman, the legend, former Braves legend, Marvin Freeman.
What about Steve Trout?
And Steve Trout? I was getting there. I was going down.
I once got drunk with Steve Trout, but I'm sure many have that same story.
Almost.
He once
You
got.
can't
once.
leave the story right there, Greg Braggs. Let's hear it.
Well, it was at a Cubs convention because he did play for both the Cubs and Sox, and it was a late night. You know, it used to be at the Hilton, and he was at the bar, and we were like hanging out near each other, and before you knew it, we were best friends, and we basically closed down the bar. And he may or may not have suggested we go do more things after the bar.
Wow.
And we were like, Steve, we got to call it a night. He was not ready to call it a night.
Steve was ready to have a good time. Greg's over here breaking balls and making into the night.
And my one friend who was crazy put him in a surprise headlock, a friendly surprise headlock. And the look on Steve's face when this occurred was classic.
I mean, I don't know how you be put in a headlock and not be kind of miffed.
Yeah, he was miffed.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I don't know you that well. And if I knew you that well,
Great
still
dude.
don't put me in a headlock, jerk.
Great dude.
First round pick too, Steve Trout from Thornwood High School. All right,
That's the draft.
that's the draft. We got
Number 33, Mike Sorotka.
There you
No
go.
Aaron Rowan.
Nah, I really wanted to give Sorotka a roll there.
He deserved it.
I feel bad for Mike Soroka. Really bad.
Why?
Because pretty much they gave away damaged goods. His last pitch, I think, was against the Seattle Mariners in the playoffs. They traded him for David Wells in that offseason. The Blue Jays were like, this dude's not, his elbow's gone. What are you doing? And Kenny's like, hey, do your due diligence. Thank you for David Wells. Bye. And Mike Soroka never pitched another major league pitch ever again.
That sucks.
Yeah. And he was pretty good for the White Sox. I think it was an all-star.
Why would the White Sox Sorotka surrendered the sole career hit to country music superstar Garth Brooks?
In
Spring
spring
training.
training.
What?
Garth Brooks used to do spring training.
Yeah.
He did it, I think the Padres, right?
Yeah.
He did it a few times.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah.
don't know this?
He used to go play in spring training because he was famous.
And
Yeah.
remember he was Chris Gaines for like a second?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Then got married to Trisha Yearwood. Trisha Yearwood.
I did not know Garth Brooks was
Yeah.
hitting. Okay.
Thunder rolls.
Want to let people know about Hero Bread?
Thank you.
Because we should probably take an ad break at some point. Then we'll recap the draft. And then, Greg, if you want to check Slack, you'll get our little graphic.
All right. I started eating Hero Bread because I am a type 2 diabetic, and I didn't want to give up all the good stuff like the breads, the wraps, the quesadillas, and Hero Bread hooks me up with that. And if you are a person out there looking just to have a delicious meal with zero net carbs like the flour tortillas have, Hero Bread will not let you down. If you need a low-carb option to fit your lifestyle or dietary constraints, founder Cole Glass baked 100 muffins per day before he found the perfect blend that fits his dietary constraints. That's why he pushed for starting the Hero Bread company. I know that when I mentioned zero net carbs and 15 grams of protein and 80 calories per flour tortilla, you're like, Herb, how does that taste? Tastes just like your favorite flour tortilla that you're eating now. In my opinion, a little bit better because I know what I'm putting in my body is better for my body than those regular ones, especially with the zero net carbs. You get a discount code if you go as a first-time buyer, CHGO, put in the discount code, you get 10% off at Hero.co. Hero also makes sliced breads, which I think Sean likes because he made himself some delicious avocado toast with some avocado spread and I think some bacon on top. It looked really delicious. And they also have tortillas, as I said. They're available at Hero.co and on Amazon. Fewer calories than the leading national brand, as I said. 5 to 10 grams per protein per serving. Like I said, there's 15 grams in those flour tortillas. I looked on the package. It's 15 grams. Good for your body. Good for your health. Right now, Hero Bread is offering CHGO fam 10% off your first order. Just go to hero.co and use our code CHGO to save on Hero Bread today. That's HERO.co for Hero Bread, 10% off today.
Ooh, it's my turn. I want to let you know about our friends over at Ray CDJR, Greg and the CHGO Bears team, along with
fun.
Cole Komet. Yeah, it was up in Fox Lake to visit Ray Auto, both Ray Chevy and Ray CDJR, for their Toys for Tots event. It went really well, so we are very, very proud that the Ray Auto family is a part of our family. If you are in the market for a new vehicle, go check out our friends over at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake. At Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and find unforgettable savings. And right now, during the Black Friday sales event at Ray CDJR in Fox Lake, you'll get 0% financing on select new models all month long. And that's not all. Coming up to the end of the month, so act now. Just for listening, you can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. So if you are in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963. All right, Greg, how long are we into the show?
36 minutes.
Okay, all right, we'll take that. Why don't you flash the draft here, Greg? We'll recap it. We'll take another ad break.
Want me to flash you?
Please, just the graphic. Don't flash me. Vinny had the first pick. He took number 14. His second pick was number 30. His third pick was number 22. His fourth pick was number 8. And his fifth pick was number 31. Herb took number 23 first, number 15 second, number 19 third, number 29 fourth, and number 5 last. And I went number 35, number 11, number 28, number 1, and number 33. So I had the worst pick with 28?
No. 28 was fine.
Oh, number 1 was bad?
Yeah. There's not like a franchise great in that number 1 list.
I said Elvis Andrus' name.
But didn't he wear a different number while he was a White Sox too?
21, I think.
Okay, yeah, I thought
like
he
a
wore
day
like
or
2
something.
numbers.
Yeah.
But even myself, I'm gonna concede that Vinny smashed this draft. I mean, getting 14 is just like, it's the best number in White Sox history. And then when he followed up with 30 and 22, 22 was going to be my third pick. But Vinny, of course, took it. Because all those good people, as I worked with Ed and DJ, they used to make that joke all the time of them having 22. Ah, God, he had a better draft than I did. I know that.
I wanted 8.
And then you wanted 8, yeah.
Yeah, so I should have maybe left 1 on the board and took 8.
You had 4 chances to take 8, Sean.
Oh, I did. Any honorable mentions?
Well, I've got a whole list. If you want to do that now or after the next ad break, what do you want?
Let's do it now.
All right, here we go.
Because the ad break will just end the show.
Sure. Okay. So obviously, no one took 4. Luke Appling, who we talked about. No one took 3, Harold Baines. No one took 9, Minnie Mignoso. No one took 79, Jose Abreu. No one took 72, Carlton Fisk. No one took 2, Nellie Fox. And then when you get down a little bit, how about number 49, worn by both Chris Sale and Richard Dotson? Here's one, number 17, both Carlos May and Chico, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly, Carrasquel.
And Ken Griffey Jr.
And Chris Getz. And Ross Glode. No one took 56, right? You didn't take 56, nope. Sean, right? So no one took Mark Burley. How about this one? 45, Carlos Lee and Bobby Jenks. Number 20.
And?
Who?
Michael Jordan, I guess, if you want to count that.
Jeffrey
are we doing Birmingham Barons numbers as well now?
No. You don't leave out Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah, you do.
You do, and he didn't play for the team.
Listen, guys.
Hey, I just turned 45, and I didn't put that as my number because I know he wasn't a professional.
Just because
White
a bunch
Sox.
of people got it on jerseys to wear around the ballpark doesn't mean that he actually played for the team.
Still a cool
He's a
claim
Birmingham
to
Baron.
fame. Trust me.
Michael Jordan had as many Major League at-bats as Garth Brooks did.
And me.
They did play an exhibition at Wrigley, though, and he got a hit.
Garth Brooks got a hit in an exhibition game.
Michael Jordan got the Garth Brooks treatment.
He did get the Garth Brooks treatment. Number 25, Jim Thome and Tommy John, who had a long White Sox career. Number 10, Alexei, Shingo, and the always mentioned in all record book situations, Sherm Lawler. But yeah, there were some other ones. 24. Early win, Joe Creedy, Mike Cameron, and a little Floyd Bannister action on 24 also. So there were some ones in there. And here was a good one I liked too, number 44. Jake Peavy, of course, Dan Pasqua, and Chet Lemon.
All right, so who were the number 13s? Ozzie Guillen.
And a bunch of other people.
Well, I'm just
I don't
saying,
think it's
like,
been
who else? Like,
reissued.
was Nafy Perez?
He was on the Cubs.
He never was a
But he
White
wasn't-
Sox.
Yeah,
wasn't a
not
White
a lot
Sox?
there-
Well, there's like a million both Cubs and White Sox. I thought for sure.
That's
he
true.
played
And
for the
one
White
of
Sox.
them, hold on, I had one of them written down.
Not a lot of
Willie Harris.
Yeah,
Willie
not a lot
Harris,
of 13s.
number 13.
For real quick.
I think Ozzie might have worn. Ozzie wore it for 12 years. I think if you combined all the people that wore 13, I think Ozzie
Yeah.
And
wore it for 12 years and no one else.
he wore it for 12 years playing and then wore it for another many as the manager.
I've only counted 8 years of 13 other than Ozzie.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know what they're doing with the number.
You know
maybe
what I
it's
also just
cursed.
realized?
What?
I took number 22. You know who I forgot to mention? Tony La Russa.
That's true. But managers don't count on the list.
Here's one last one for you.
Should.
Number 32, Alex Fernandez, Steve Carlton, and one of those great crosstown players, Greg, Steve Stone.
We know Sammy mentioned too.
He was not
Sammy.
21,
It
on
was,
the White
25.
Sox. Yeah, 25.
So Andrew Vaughn, Otis Despaigne, Ryan Lemaire, Cody Ashe.
You know, all the stars.
Adam
Cody
LaRoche,
Ashe.
Andrew Jones. Obviously, who's Jim Thome? Anyways, little quiz. What uniform number was wore the most?
It's a good question.
I have the
I would
answer.
say it would be a low number, so I would say like number 7.
I'll
No.
go with 10. No?
A little higher
A little higher than 10?
than 7.
12. Keep going.
Yeah.
15.
All right. Maybe I should give you a hint.
Give us some guys who
Give me a
wore it.
name.
It was worn twice in 2023
Oh, boy.
by two separate players.
I know who. I saw this earlier today. One of them was Brent Honeywell, who wore
No,
it.
no,
not that high.
Not
Okay.
that one. Not that one. Brent Honeywell and Tyler
36,
Naquin both
right?
wore 46.
Oh,
yeah.
46. There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh wow. What a stretch from 2019 to 2023 for 46. Avon Nova, Craig Kimbrell, Mark Payton, Brent Honeywell Jr., and Tyler Naquin.
Oh, local
Let's
product Mark
go.
Payton?
Where's he from?
I don't know
Rita, yeah.
which number was worn the most in White Sox history, Sean.
You don't want to guess? No
I
more
don't.
guess?
Like, you said higher than 15, so I'll say 17.
One of the 26s had a very tough time at the plate.
You said 26.
Is it 26?
You said 26.
It was Corey Lee and Hanser Alberto.
Corey Lee and Hanser Alberto. There
So
you go.
how many times has 26 been worn?
60.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop
not,
picking 26.
I think,
Obviously
it's
not gonna have a good-
Is it cursed or is
good
are
year.
there okay guys who wore
I don't
26?
know. I mean, Octavio Dotel, 2008 to
Solid.
2009. Avisel,
Oh, yeah,
2013 to 2018.
All-star, obviously.
Obviously, El Duque, 2005 year.
Yeah.
Ross Glode.
G-load.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good run right there. Ross Glode in 2004, El Duque in 2005, and then Sandy Alomar in 2006.
But the thing is, Duque wasn't really good during the regular season, but he made up for it, of course, in that one playoff.
He's on the
appearance.
statue, man.
I truly could not care less on what any of those guys did or didn't do
No,
in the regular season.
I'm just saying, like, that was a very controversial move that he made the playoff roster, and it was a right move that, of course, the White Sox foul. I forgot who made it. It was either Kenny Williams or Ozzie Guillen, and the other did not like it. And then it turned out to be aces. Because I think it was Ozzie's like, Duque has a playoff experience. He'll show up for me, and he'll do a good job, and he did.
Nelly Fox also wore 26 for a brief second to start his career. He wasn't that great, but he did finish 17th and 7th in the MVP voting and was twice All-Star at 26 too. I think the next number that was wore the most was 55.
Carlos Rodon.
Oh, no, sorry. Like the amount of people
Oh.
that wore it was 55. Now I'm trying to find that number, and I don't know where that tab went. Cool. Love technology. What the hell? Okay. Next number to be retired, is there going to be one? Is it Ozzie?
79.
correct, but I think that if you got this number out of circulation, like the last person who's worn number 13 is Willie Harris in 2003, if you have it out of circulation and no one's picking it, retire that number.
I mean, he's not the last person to wear it. Ozzie wore it in 2011.
Oh, I'm just saying last player to wear it. But obviously, no player is coming to the White Sox and taking 13. There's a reason why they're not taking 13. Ozzie was a pretty good player as a White Sox, a pretty good manager. His number should be retired. As they should have a whole ceremony for doing things like that. I mean, who in the history of White Sox lore can you tell the story of it without Ozzie Guillen? No, you can't. So, as you see on the screen, the man says give him a thumbs up and retire his number.
Perhaps 2 years from now, be the 20th anniversary of the World Series team.
God,
That'd be cool.
Old.
I mean, again, I love Ozzie. I would be very happy for him to be in a Ring of Honor. I don't know if, again, he needs the jersey retired.
Rookie of the year. His shortstop play as a White Sox was unparalleled.
Most defensive war.
Yeah, he's just continuing the Venezuelan shortstop tradition, and as the White Sox, as we have a Cuban connection, we also have a Venezuelan connection, and so I think he's just as important to the White Sox, not as important as Frank, but in that same realm, like Ozzie Guillen should be revered and should have a statue, firstly, and then secondly, his number retired. Because they're not putting it in circulation, so there's a reason why they're not doing it. And there should be some recognition for his greatness that he's contributed to this team, who's only made the playoffs 11 times. I don't know if you guys know that. He's made it twice.
Does Abreu make it?
Oh, yeah.
He certainly deserves
yeah.
to.
I mean, it's
yeah.
a number you can retire because nobody's walking in and be like, oh, my
mean,
lucky number 79.
I mean, he's not going to be retired from baseball until after the 2025 season at the earliest. That's when his contract with the Astros runs out. So it can still be several years from now, but I would have to imagine the way that him and Jerry would talk about each other, you would think that he was a favorite of the owner as well.
Yeah,
And then
which obviously Ozzie is too. So.
And when Harold Baines got traded to the Rangers, Jerry retired that number immediately because he loved him. And so I would expect that to be the same thing, but it didn't happen as yet. I was expecting it when he came back in May of this 2023 season that, hey, we're going to retire Jose Abreu's number because he was so great to the organization.
I don't know what this means. I don't even know why I'm giving him credit, but you see like Martellus Bennett react to the Bears and like say that it goes up to the owners. I don't think we've heard a lot about, I mean, I can correct me if I'm wrong, like players bad-mouthing Jerry.
Players love Jerry Reinsdorf.
I mean,
People who work for Jerry Reinsdorf love Jerry Reinsdorf.
Well, that's because he's so loyal.
Hey.
It's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing. As I said, it's a gift and a curse.
He's got your back.
It is a gift and a curse. It's great to work for Jerry Reinsdorf, but it's not great sometimes to cheer for Jerry Reinsdorf's teams. If you got Jerry Reinsdorf on your side, you got a good ally.
Number 79, Jose Abreu.
Perfect.
He nailed it.
Spot on.
He nailed it.
See? Spot on.
Lawrence
really
missed
good.
the whole rest of the show prior, so
Oh, he's done
that
a
was
lot
his
of
first
them,
time.
Lawrence.
That was like the 10th or 12th one he's done.
Oh, it's
It's
so
been
great.
good.
He gave us a Frank Thomas one, too, earlier.
All right, final question. We'll take another ad break. 26 have been worn 60 times. 4 numbers have been worn more than 50 times. So 26, obviously 60 times. Do you know the other 3?
No.
No.
Okay. 36, which was worn 55 times.
Your man.
Cavan Smith.
Damn right. That's the most notable one, of course.
27, which was worn 52 times. I don't think.
Lucas Giolito.
Yeah, Gio, Deanna Navarro, Leary for a bit too, Ramon Castro, who caught Mark Burley's perfect game, and Jeff Blum in the World Series year.
The Blummer.
And then 25, which we've brought up already, with legends like
Ryan Lamar.
Joe Barchard. All right, let's take another. Oh, and Bobby Bonds. Let's take another break, and Tommy John. All right. Let's take another break and get out of here. Herb, I'll let you know. I'll let you have people know about Midtown Athletic Club in just a second, but I want to let you know about Empire today. 588-2300
Empire.
Look at you guys. Why pull the jingle from YouTube and like play it? You know, have a little soundbite of them singing it when you guys can sing it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's ingrained in our brains. We know it.
They did a good job.
Yes, they
I think
did.
they teach you that. You know, when you're a kid in elementary school and you're at music class and you sing little songs. I think in the Chicagoland area, they teach the kids the Empire jingle.
That and the Luna one.
And Danley's.
What?
Danley's Garage.
I don't know that one.
Danley's Garage World, Danley's.
Bob Rohrman.
Oh boy. With Empire Today, you get shop and home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they have copycats, but Empire can't be beaten on quality, service, and speed. So competitors will advertise low-quality products that Empire simply won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest price because anyone who does is putting flooring in your house that they wouldn't put in theirs. Empire keeps shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection, and their philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. They're the experts. They know what's going to look good in your home. Just trust Empire. Our virtual floor designer is a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's easy for you. Just snap a picture and instantly see how new floors will look in your room. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off. It's a discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empirettoday.com/CHGO for details. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code CHGO at empirettoday.com/CHGO.
Midtown Athletic Club has 4 Chicagoland locations, one in Palatine in the northwest suburbs, Bannockburn on the North Shore, Willowbrook in the southwest suburbs, and, of course, the Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel in the middle of Bucktown and Lincoln Park. Midtown Palatine has launched a multi-million-dollar transformation of the club, which will be complete by early 2024. But listeners can lock in rates right now before the end of the year. Something at clubs for everybody. If you're a single person, if you're a family with kids, they have childcare included with the package. Also, people looking to make lifestyle changes or holistic wellness. It's awesome for you. And as I said before, it's not just a athletic club. To say that is selling it short. Seriously, go and schedule a tour today, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Midtown Chicago has been called the nicest fitness club that people have ever been to, and I can vouch for that because this past Monday I went there, and I was like blown away about how great it is. Parking is awesome. 3 hours parking for guests, 3 hours parking for people who are joining the club for free. And in Chicago, you know that's a huge deal. Super luxe locker rooms with wet and dry saunas and premium amenities, amazing outdoor and indoor pools and hot tubs, a collection of boutique fitness studios and more than 100 classes. This isn't gym quality, as I said. It's boutique fitness that you're signing up for. They have 7 classrooms. I think it's the arena, Samadhi for yoga, everybody fights for boxing, ride for spin cycling, the field for cross-training, and the theater for group exercises. They have the best tennis courts. So this is pretty much what they were built off of, being a great tennis facility. And Midtown has indoor and outdoor tennis facilities, pickleball and paddleball courts, USTA professional quality all the way. Right now, what you need to do is head over to midtown.com/CHGO to find out more and to schedule a tour from Midtown Athletic Club nearest you. I have been to the one in Chicago. I prefer that one. But if you're in the Palatine, Bannockburn, or Willowbrook area, schedule one for you today.
I'm still shocked that Garth Brooks was doing spring training with the Mets and Padres.
Yeah.
Very weird.
That's what happens when you write a great song.
I guess. Maybe there's 2. Thunder Rolls is pretty good. Friends in Low Places. I only know those 2, but they're pretty decent. Yeah. Want to let you know about FOCO. Get fit in the best sports gear around. They got hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. They got some very cool bobbleheads up there for Hawks fans, Bears fans. So go check them out, especially with the upcoming holidays.
You know what we should request from them?
The Benintendi thing?
A Chris Gaines Padres bobblehead. See if they can make that.
They might.
Soul patch all the way down his eyes.
He looks like Larry Walker. Like there's I looked up
Chris Gaines or Garth Brooks.
Both.
They're two different people, Sean.
No, they're not.
They're 2 different guys.
Well, not in this one, but
it just looks like Garth Brooks in a Padres uniform.
Yeah, right.
Chris Gaines has a soul patch.
When this one where he's got the goatee kind of looks like a little bit like Larry Walker.
You know what he'd look like if he had the if Chris Gaines was playing? He'd look like Ryan Klesko.
Former Padres great.
Former Padres great.
They'd blend in together. That's why they created uniform numbers back in 1929. But They've donated some lovely set decorations for us. They're some of the coolest bobbleheads we've seen. That Southpaw one behind Herb, if you can see it, the TA Redline one. So go check out foco.com or click the link in the description below. For all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO10 for 10% off. It is also Black Friday. Shirts are up to 90% off. Team gear is at least 20% off. CHGO gear is 33% off. Hats and hoodies.
This is for us, not at FOCO.
Yeah.
Black Friday.
I'm sorry. I tried to end the FOCO read. What's that?
No, I'm just saying hats.
Yeah.
$10 off.
So Black Friday up at our website, chgolocker.com. Hats and hoodies, $10 off. Spend $75 or more, and you can receive a $15 gift card and more. So go check out the Black Friday sale that we have going on at chgolocker.com. Any final thoughts?
I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't get a better number. I should have got some of the numbers that Vinny stole earlier in the draft, but I was just too transfixed on 23. I was like, somebody's going to take my 23, and I got to take that first. It's not a value pick right there. I should have just gone for a better. Like 22 was just a much better number than 23 because there's only 2 people in 23. 22's got a bunch of people up and down the row.
You keep really selling your man short.
Who?
Andrew Benintendi. I mean, just mention those two. I mean, he's wearing 23 right now.
It's a weird thing. Like, every time a player comes to the White Sox and wears 23, I was like, I'm a fan. I was actually a fan of Martin before he got here, and if he was still playing, he would be a White Sox because he's a former Royal, came over here. But he was not a good White Sox, and neither was the current 23 who was a former White Sox or former Royal, Andrew Benintendi.
He's got 4 more years to prove it.
What was your number when you guys won the softball championship, Herb?
0.
Number 0, Herb Lawrence.
What happened to Gene
I'm
at
about
the
to
end of that
say,
one?
Gene was sad there. Can you at least give me, like...
Number 0,
Can you give me some...
Herb Lawrence.
There we go. Can you give me some Ron Karkovice? Number 20, Officer Ron Karkovice.
Number 20?
Yeah.
It's been a while since old Karko. Number 20, Ron Karkovice.
Spot on.
How about you, Sean? What was your number?
42, because it's not retired in softball.
Ron Kittle.
Number 42, Sean Anderson.
Vinny didn't play. Vinny didn't.
He
have
played
a
last
number.
year.
Did you?
Yeah, he played last
Once.
year.
Yeah,
Oh.
one game.
I
Yeah.
missed that.
Normally I had to be at the ballpark during softball
Right.
season, so yeah.
You want it?
He got a ring like
want it, Vinny?
I don't even know
Ricky
what
Renteria got a Cubs
Yeah,
ring.
they're right.
Oh, I didn't actually have a number. I just said. Oh.
I just get to come up with one.
Just pick a
Give
number.
me 12.
Number 12, Vinnie Duber.
And we didn't pick 12 either, right?
AJ and
no one-
Conor Gillespie.
No 12. Oh, all right. Let's wrap this up. What?
No, I'm just saying 12 was decent. AJ was pretty damn good.
I mean, there's still. I mean, like Mini Mignoso, I would probably pick over 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
you should.
right.
And
Yeah.
all those other retired ones.
Yeah, right. I don't know if AJ's really selling me on that one.
I try to stay away from the retired ones. That was my thing. Like, they're already good, and they're probably being out of circulation for a while. But Manny Mignoso is a good one because he wore it for so long, through so many decades.
Mr. White Sox.
Yeah. Cuban Comet.
What?
He's talking to somebody.
Did you say stall?
Yeah,
Yeah.
stall for a second.
Why? I can't
'Cause
wrap up
you-
the show
Because
and
we're
end
going to
it?
wrap the show, but I need a mouse that actually works to end it.
Yeah, Sean.
All right. Well, we're gonna
Technical
tap dance.
fun.
Yeah, we're gonna tap dance and then
Oh, yeah. Did you?
start.
My mouse isn't working.
What's your number, Greg?
What?
What's your number?
My favorite number of all time is always 23. It's sacrilegious to take 23 in this city, though, by any team, really.
I mean, when I was
So-
growing up, it was like Steve
So
Smith,
number 20 was always my number that I'd pick.
Michael Jordan, Robin Ventura, of course, and then Sean Gale was the Bears 23. So I was like, 23 was just like the stuff when I was a kid. It was such an awesome number. I never picked it as my own number because, as you said, it's sacrilegious to pick that number. I never picked 35. I think my numbers were 32 and 33 when I was a fullback.
I mean, you did pick 23 for your Twitter handle.
Huh? Not Juice. Not Juice, OJ. What?
You did pick 23 for your Twitter handle.
Yeah, for my Twitter handle because I was done playing. I knew I wasn't going to be the guy anymore. I think I was 23 when I started doing that, so you could see how long ago it was. Not for my Twitter handle, but when I first started doing the Eckernwall thing, I started picking 23.
Can we end the show, Brax?
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay, all right. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at Ecknerall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. We will talk to you on Monday. We'll see you then. And big thanks. Huge thanks. I am thankful for Greg Braggs because that was very good. Your Gene Honda impersonation was fantastic, and that was the highlight of the show. So thank you, Greg, for that. We'll talk to you, everyone, on Monday. Goodbye.
We all city like the mayor.